Well, hello there, and welcome to EU4 Expert Tutorials, where I will teach you advanced strategies and give you tips and tricks on how to blob and prosper in EU4. The topics we will cover in this series are things I use in all of my playthroughs for EU4, but that I don't always explain in full detail every time. I'm also going to focus on things that I don't see other people use or explain, and just things that people ask me about a lot, and that I think are incredibly useful. So you might be thinking, who's this guy to be giving me expert tutorials? I've got like 1,000 hours and I've done tons of achievements. Well, I've done the 3 mountains twice, once on normal, and as of today, I am still the only person in the world to have done a 3 mountains one tag on very hard difficulty, which basically makes the game twice as hard. And both of those runs are on my YouTube if you'd like to check that out. Also, a little side note is that I've got 12,000 hours on this game, so please send help, I have no life. But yeah, now today's topic will cover aggressive expansion, coalitions, and how to deal with them or avoid them altogether. Yes, avoid them. Even in a world conquest, you could potentially avoid all coalitions. And I'm planning to release a new video for this series once a week. If people enjoy it, please let me know in the comments. If you have any feedback, it's greatly appreciated because, like I said, I don't do tutorials normally, so this is new for me. So if you have any feedback, please let me know. And without further ado, let's get right into the video and stomp those coalitions to bits, eh? So the first thing we're going to need to talk about is the question, when does a coalition form exactly? And a coalition forms if there's 4 or more independent tags, or countries if you will, that you have 50+ aggressive expansion with, as well as negative relations, and that you don't have a truce with. If any of those things don't fit, there will be no coalition. 3 members and they have 999 aggressive expansion with you, and they're 5 times bigger than you, they can't form a coalition. 25 tags, and they all have 49 aggressive expansion, they can't form a coalition. And the entire world has 999 aggressive expansion on you, but you somehow magically manage to get relations high enough that it's in the positives, then they also can't form a coalition. So now if we take a look at aggressive expansion generation, there are several things that you can do to reduce your aggressive expansion. For example, you could make sure that your prestige is really high. You could stack modifiers in ideas and policies, like for example this one, to reduce the aggressive expansion. Or you could go the other way around and once again get high prestige for more improved relations. Get diplomatic and humanist, as well as a diplomat for more improved relations, so that the aggressive expansion decays faster. But everybody knows about that, that's not very interesting. What a lot of people don't know is that if you expand into a specific religious group, like the Christian group, which includes Catholics, Reformed, Protestant, Orthodox, you know, Christians. If you expand into these, then all of the Christians will be more upset. Now, if you expand into Catholics, Orthodox will be less upset than other Catholics would be, but they'd still be more upset than Sunnis would, if you see what I'm saying. And so Hindus, who are in their own group together with Sikh in the Dharmic group, don't care about anything really. They care about themselves, but other than that, they don't particularly mind it if you conquer Eastern religions or Islamic states. Another thing that increases aggressive expansion impact is the culture. So if, for example, you were to invade Syrians, then the Masrikis and Bedouin states and Egyptian and Turkish would be more upset than, say, Persians, right? This is all pretty important stuff, and this is also why expanding into the HRE gives such ridiculously high aggressive expansion numbers, because for one, they're all Catholics at the start of the game, so that's the 1. And then for 2, it's all in the Christian religious group. And then 3, it's all in the German group. And then 4, which this is a real kicker, it's part of the HRE. Which means that, you know, if you are going into the HRE and you don't really have a, you know, you want to conquer the HRE but you're not really in a hurry, wait for the Reformation, focus on the Protestants, then focus on the Catholics. You know, this is all very important stuff. But knowing this, knowing that different religious groups don't really care if you slaughter their neighbors, what you could do is you could focus on one religious group, and this is what we do in almost every single world conquest. In every single one of my massive blobbing campaigns, I will focus on one of the religious groups at a time. So first I slaughter all of the Muslims, then I'll slaughter all of the Eastern religions, then the Dharmic, etc, etc, and then finally the Christian, because Christian is the biggest and there's the most different tags that are hard to kill because they're all part of the HRE, right? So that is kind of my philosophy, as it were, behind world conquests. And the reason for that is because if you have truces with someone, they can't join a coalition against you. And so, for example, what you could do is you could invade the Middle East, and then you make sure that you have truces with everyone in there, except for 3 very big powers, because, you know, those wars are really expensive. You can't hope to constantly maintain truces with those people. So what you can do is you could make it so that you know, you don't have a truce with the Ottomans, you don't have a truce with the Mamluks, you don't have a truce with the Timurids, and in the meantime, literally everyone in the Muslim world has 500 aggressive expansion on you, and they all hate your guts. But it doesn't matter, because you make sure that the number of people that have more than 50 aggressive expansion and that hate your guts doesn't exceed 3, like it doesn't get to the 4th number. Okay, and so the way that you would usually manage this coalition truce juggling machine would be to, you know, whenever you have a peace deal at the ready, is you hover over this thing and you just start counting. So you'll be, okay, so Bengal obviously is really upset that we're killing all of his, that we're taking his land. So Bengal will be 1, but you don't count Bengal because you'll have a 15-year truce with Bengal if you take this. Well, if you take exactly 100%, it's 15-year truce. 50 is a 10-year truce, and 0 is a 5-year truce. Very useful for truce juggling. You can sort of measure your way off of that. So what you do is you start counting. So Jaunpur is 1, Malwa is 2, Delhi is 3, Mewat 4. So you know there's going to be a coalition. So in this situation, let's take a look at this. Mewat has -45, which would bring it down to -63. So he's well over 50. But if you were to improve his relations with him to plus 46, which is how much the negative is, in that case, we would be able to make sure that he's not an eligible member. And then, so we have to improve relations with Mewat, Chagatai, and Nagur. Or for Chagatai and Nagur, we wait a year, because after that, you can see the -38 would result in -50 aggressive expansion. So if you wait a full year, it always sticks at the end of the year, so from December to January, those are going to lose 2 aggressive expansion or something like that. It depends on your modifiers. You have to go click on those countries to check that out precisely. Yeah, okay, so it seems like a 2 is about the base. So then, if you wait 2 years, I mean 1 year, Nagur and Chagatai aren't going to join, so you need to improve relations with Mewat, and then there should not be a coalition. Now, just to show that off, let us find ourselves a Mewat here. So as you can see, if you would let a year pass and you hover over Nagur, you're going to see the aggressive expansion drop down by about 2 points. Well, now it's 2.4 because we hired an improved relations guy. I'm not playing an Iron Man, by the way, I'm just trying to showcase things. So now the potential coalition members is going to be Jaunpur, Malwa, and Delhi, as well as Mawat. So if you were to improve relations with Mawat, which we don't have time for right now, so we're just going to go debug mode and integrate now. So now there's only 3 members that could potentially join a coalition. Bengal, Jaunpur, I mean not Bengal because they'll have a truce with Bengal, Jaunpur, Malwa, and Delhi. So you piece them out, and now you have to make sure that you can hover over this window, and then you can see expires in March 1461. So now you know you have to declare war on Bengal in March 1461. Now there's a little bit of a bug going on with the truces in that it lies a little bit. It'll say March 1461. I've had it happen where it ends halfway in February. Now Paradox is working on this, and they're fixing it. It's because it's a long story. Doesn't matter. They're working on it. They're gonna make it so that if it says March, it'll actually be March. Most of the time, it will be March. But if you're really cutting it close, you might wanna start slowing the game down in January, at the 1st of January, and just play it slow, because the moment this truce runs out, there will be a coalition, right? Because Bengal hates my guts, Jaunpur hates my guts, Delhi hates my guts, and Malwa hate my guts. As you'll see, Malwa, being Sunni, hates my guts about twice as much as Bahmanis does, even though Bahmanis is also Islamic. That's about twice as much for the same religion. But if we take a look at the Hindus, they care about 3 times less. See this? This is why religious groups and religions in specific are very important. And it's also why truce juggling works. Because you might be thinking, you know, how am I possibly going to get truces with all of the potential coalition members, you know? So, and a lot of guides on the, a lot of times people will say, oh, you have to spread out your conquests. But no, that is the weakling's way out, the weakling's way. Here on the Florryworry show, we just eradicate the people that want to join the coalitions. So, oh man, I'm gonna get, well, whatever. You gotta focus. Once you've decided on a specific religion and religious group, you have to eradicate it completely, remove it from the map. Start with the smaller ones, because that means there's less tags for you to slaughter, for you to maintain truces with. Make sure that you pick big powers for the 3 ones that you see through the fingers. And just kill the small ones as soon as possible. Now, if there's some obscure tag really far away, so for example, well, really far away. The Maldives aren't really far away, but they're difficult to reach, right? So these are people that you constantly want to be improving relations with, sending gifts, and once you've achieved great power status, you can use Influence Nation for another plus 25 relations. See, that's very useful, especially Influence Nations, because you can use that even though you're losing money, you have loans, which for me is quite a useful button, right? To better showcase this. Okay, this is a little bit better to showcase. So, you know, in the role, you have a truce with Bengal, you're gonna have a truce with Jaunpur, Malwa is at negative 124, so that'd be 1, Delhi will be 2, Nagaur will be 3, and then you need to improve relations with Multan, Chagatai, and Tirhut, as well as Nepal and Sindh, and you wait 4 years for Balochistan, Timmy, and everything below that to drop down to below 50 aggressive aggressive expansion. Terribly sorry, my video editing software does not like smooth cuts. I'm trying to learn how to use new ones, but well, it's a bit of a learning experience, I suppose. Anyway, guys, I was going to include both how to avoid and deal with coalitions in one tutorial video, but I want to keep these nice and short. And if I had included how to deal with existing coalitions, it was going to be like 40 minutes long. I want to avoid those things for this particular series. So yeah, if you have an existing coalition in your game, feel sorry for you, but you're gonna have to wait 1 week for the next one to come online. So subscribe and stay tuned for that. And yeah, after that I've got plenty of things I want to talk about, grand strategy and just particular game mechanics that I think people could use some help with. And if you have particular country starts that you want to see tutorials on, then please be sure to let me know in the comments. I am open for suggestions. I'm also open for any constructive criticism. Please let me know if there's something I can do better, because I don't usually make tutorials, so I believe I already mentioned that somewhere. I've been recording for roughly 10 hours. This was seriously one of the hardest videos. This was harder than the 3 mountains by far. By far. Holy shit. But anyway guys, thank you for watching, and see you guys in just a bit for the next normal playthrough episode. And next week I'm gonna try to upload these every single time on Sunday. It was Sunday 10 hours ago, but it's not anymore. It's definitely Monday. We are not punching any bananas today. Anyway, thanks and bye.